What is up, guys? And welcome to the very last, very last MPL Philippines recap with Naisou. And week 8. Week 8 just concluded. And when I say week 8, that means the regular season is officially done, man. Like, who would have thought? Well, I mean, it's 8 weeks. It took us a little bit longer, though, because there was like a 2-week break. So technically, it was like 10 weeks. I feel like it flew by super fast. I don't know about you guys that have been watching the MPL Philippines. Maybe some of you guys going, watching at the venue or watching online purely. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that the regular season is actually already over. And here we are for our last recap. I'm feeling much better, by the way. I know I mentioned in my last recap video that, I was sick for about 2 weeks right after I went to Malaysia for SPS. Just hang out and whatnot. And yeah, I noticed that everybody's getting sick. So if you guys are sick right now, if you're feeling a little under the weather, I don't feel sorry for you. I hope you get better. I was gonna say I'm sorry, but I'm not even sorry because it's not my fault. It's your fault. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. If you're sick, actually, I hope you get plenty of rest. Get the vitamins that you need because vitamins are super important. I didn't take them. I wish I did. I'm one of the guys. This is totally random. I'm one of the guys that when I get sick, I like to just ride it out naturally. I don't know if you guys are or not, but maybe take your medicines and go to the doctor. Anyway, let's get back to the recap here. Yeah, there's a couple things that we're going to cover. Again, when we got to week 8, there really wasn't that much that we had to look forward to, except realistically, I guess it was two main things. Number one was, what was the last team going to be that locks in the last playoff spot, that 6th spot? The main thing was, again, which teams would be top seed. So those are what we were looking for week 8. So I'll go ahead and pull up this is what we got here, week 8. It's beautiful to look at this and just see it all filled up now, all filled up. Anyway, week 8 started off day 1, TLPH versus TNC. This was a sweep. This was a big sweep because it was a quick game too. Also, currently, guys, I really like the meta. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. I like this meta that we are currently in, right after the patch that we just had. I feel like there's so much flexibility going on. Maybe not so much in the gold lane. Where else? Mostly the gold lane. I mean, jungle is still kind of up in the air too. But yeah, I feel like we've actually had quite a bit of debut picks, even down to week 8, which I thought was really cool. So again, for this one, TLPH versus TNC, this was a big match, you could say, I guess, for TLPH, because this would have helped them get closer to their coveted spot of top seed. And they end up sweeping TNC, and I think that was really, obviously just really big. Which, again, that I can't remember if this exactly was the win that secured them that, or they had to beat Rora in day 2. Because I know Rora was fighting, alongside Onyx to get that top 2 seed. I think just TLPH, yeah, them dominating TNC gave them a pretty good chance, if not already locking in the top seed spot. So that's pretty big. And the reason why, if you guys missed it on broadcast, we actually talked about this. We broke down the statistics. I don't have the graphic right now, but we showed it on broadcast. And I'll just tell you guys real quick. In the history of the MPL Philippines, the top 2 teams that go into the playoffs, so top 1, top 2 seed, have had the majority of the chances of winning the championship. And it makes sense. Like, that's the advantage of being in the upper bracket, basically, or like the top seeds, basically, when it comes down to the playoffs. Because if I remember right, top seed had like a 54% win rate of being champions, like all the teams in the history of the MPL Philippines. And then I think it was second place had like a 36 or 37 around there. Third place, like third seed going into playoffs, there's no one. And then there's like a random team in the 4th seed that won the championship. I can't remember off the top of my head who that was, but that was like the 7% part of that. So who knows what's going to happen in this playoffs? Because I feel like even again, our 3rd seed, for example, which is Onyx Philippines, I mean, they're looking good. They're on like I think it was like a 10-game win streak, or like an 8-series win streak or something like that. It's insane, right? So anyway, going back to day 1, Omega versus AP Bren. this was the thing, man. Where like I feel like if you were a fan of AP Bren and you stuck by them, mind you, guys, I know they had a rough regular season, and we talked about this in the recap videos. AP Bren has a bunch of people that still show up for them live in the venue, and so the bees are very much out there to support. And again, this is a very young squad. Yes, they didn't have a good season, but I think they really showcased what they're capable of throughout the season. Because again, you got to remember that they went against some of these stronger teams, and they did manage to take, a game here or there. They just didn't get a series, like when they did against Team Falcons, for example. And they won some series, like against Omega in week 4. But yeah, AP Bren, I feel like for a lot of people, this would be the case for AP Bren and Omega. Like, people essentially were like, they're showing good things. Where were they before? But especially for AP Bren, because they won their 2 matches. They won 2 matches this past weekend, and they looked really good doing it. They won against Team Falcons. Like, that's huge. That's like their big brothers or something. But yeah, that's day 1. And like I said, too, for Omega, it's really rough because I feel like there's just this pressure on Smart Omega. I feel like for some reason, season to season, it seems like they aren't able to get things together where they need to be in soon enough. It always seems like they pop off later off in the regular season, and then it's just too late, So yeah, AP Bren wins that. We move on to day 2. This is where I started casting for the weekend. TLPH versus Rora. This was a big W, big win for TLPH because, again, Rora really wanted this win because it would have given him a chance to get to that top seed, if I remember right, especially given the chance that they needed some other conditions to happen, by the way, because TLPH swept TNC when we got to day 2. But dude, TLPH just comes out, sweeps Rora anyway. Game 1 was super long. I remember that. That was a 26-minute game. Super long game, but just nonetheless, it's TLPH, and they played so good, especially in the second game, and they won it in 12-20. Like, that is insane, right? Moving on to, for again, the second match, Onyx wins this 2-1. I think a lot of people were generally surprised by this because Onyx Philippines has been on a roll and Omega has been in a slump. And the fact that Omega won game 1 surprised a lot of people. But also, I think just in that game 1, Omega played right. They took I think a big thing is they took the Selena away from Super Prince. And Ukir Selena was really, really good in that game. And just overall, like, they played really well. It's like, where was this Omega before? Because they're going against a team like Onyx Philippines. And they won that game 1 relatively fast. But then, of course, Onyx Philippines comes back and wins the series. And it was a really interesting draft, too. That's what I was saying, guys. It was like, we're seeing bans, like some teams now, just banning out all the junglers of King Kong. So I feel like it is really testing some of the junglers right now to see what they bring to the table. And it was funny because, yeah, they brought an X-Borg out. But this was such a good draft. This game 3 draft from Onyx Philippines was so good because you had Kirk on the Masha, which a lot of people were surprised that this Masha pick was picked up, but it served its purpose, especially running with a chip. So there's a whole lot of utility here from Onyx Philippines, and I feel like for them in this matchup, considering that, they're in their position for the playoffs, basically, like, they were also testing out some strategies, and this one was really fun to watch. So yeah, Onyx Philippines wins that series and moves on. And then I didn't cast the 3rd series for Saturday, but AP Bren ends up winning against Team Falcons. I was watching this on the way home so that I could get some rest. But yeah, generally surprised. I mean, Shizu played like crazy in this, and they even made the Baksha roam work. So again, this was an instance where it's like, dude, AP Bren, I think Pando was playing as well. If I remember right, Pando was playing. But AP Bren, it's like, where were you guys in the earlier parts of the season, But again, that's why I'm saying, like, for AP Bren, I really, really hope that we get to see them again next season. I just don't know if we will, because I don't, they didn't have a stellar season, and as good as they looked towards the end, you never know if that's enough to go ahead and keep that team to come back next season. So, but that wraps up day 2. Moving on to day 3. It was cool because by the time we got to the regular season, the last day of the regular season here, we still had weight on the matches, you know. Again, it was up to who was going to get that top 2 seed. That was still up for grabs, and it was between Onyx and Rora. And Onyx Philippines won 2-0 against Twisted Minds. Mind you, Twisted Minds, this was, and they're in the playoffs, right? They're the 6th seed. This was really interesting because Twisted Minds played Sensui in the jungle. And that was probably the biggest thing, like the biggest switch up, just because, again, Sensui like hasn't played all season long except in the beginning weeks of the regular season. I think week 1 or 2 when he played Rome. And then they brought him in to play jungle because Sensui used to be known as a jungler, right? When he used to play for Blacklist, was it season 13? Something like that. But he was such a good utility jungler. So that's why he ended up picking the same. These were right on the money for the picks that we called in the draft. The Fredrin and then the frickin' Akai. And they got demolished. So again, like Twisted Minds, I like that they push the limits of the draft. I just feel like they're in a position where they don't know what's gonna work for them. Honestly, like in the playoffs. So I don't know what to expect if they're gonna play Sensui, if they're gonna play MP the King. Like I don't know. They're like my biggest up in the air team for playoffs, which makes sense. I mean, they're the 6th seed, so. But who knows? And it was cool. Like they even brought the Lapu Lapu out. I mean, like this is the team that brings out probably some of the most debut picks through the regular season. But nonetheless, it was not enough to beat Onyx Philippines. Onyx Philippines wins pretty decisively in this sweep. You know, again, the Harith, the Kalea, the Suyo, the Kimmy from Super Friends, Kimmy mid. That was the first time we saw Kimmy in the mid lane. We did see it in the gold lane previously in the other days. But yeah, Super Friends playing Kimmy in the mid lane was pretty cool. And again, that's why he's the monster mage. And then the last match of the day, this was important because if Aurora lost this match against Team Falcons, Onyx would have got that top 2 seed. If I'm remembering correctly, right? And Team Falcons won the first game, so it was looking a little spicy there. And it was cool because they got they brought out the Fanny, they had a Zask, you know, the Esmeralda. I think in a way too, Team Falcons was also testing some of the draft to see exactly what they can make work here. But eventually Aurora reverse sweeps, they get the win, and they lock in the top 2 seed. So we're gonna take a look at that right now. As you guys can see for the playoffs. So these were the final standings, right? Team Liquid at 1, Aurora Gaming at 2, Onyx at 3, Team Falcons at 4, TNC at 5, and then Twisted Minds at 6. So Twisted Minds, like I said, I don't know, man. But when they get to the playoffs, I hope these couple of weeks break, they're able to really refine their strategy, whatever they want to do. And then here's the playoff bracket. You know, we'll probably do a prediction video before the playoffs. But this is where we're currently looking at. So we got the play-ins. This is on day 1. We've got Onyx Philippines versus Twisted Minds. Now, could you imagine a world where Twisted Minds beats Onyx Philippines and takes them out? That'd be crazy, right? But I think at this point, you can just say, you don't know what's going to happen in the MPL Philippines, especially with this time where the teams get to go ahead and really properly prepare for the playoffs. Then we got Team Falcons versus TNC Pro Team, and this is also very interesting because TNC, again, has not beaten a top 4 team in the regular season. I believe that's still true. So this is a true test for TNC Pro Team to see if they can actually do it. Now, if they beat Team Falcons here in the play-ins, that's also going to be crazy, a crazy upset. But 2 great matches to start off the playoffs, and then of course we got Aurora and Team Liquid waiting there for those teams, and so that's how it's going to look right here. Again, I'll do a prediction video of this later, but yeah, essentially that's everything. And there's a couple I guess side things we can talk about too, because we had some of these reveals. By the way, the whole Naruto collab is going on right now. I hope you guys have diamonds. I have yet to get a Naruto skin. I don't have any diamonds because I spent them all on the alpha skin, man. So good luck to you guys if you guys are spinning for those. Now, going on, a couple announcements that we had. I guess we can talk about this first. Kelra, he's going to represent the Philippines alongside the other stacked members of the SIBOL team. But Kelra and Sanford are joining essentially Team Falcons for SIBOL, for ISF's run. I don't know what the schedule is going to be. As you guys know, I casted ISF last year and the year before. I'm not sure what the schedule is going to be just yet, or what their plans are just yet. But what I do know is that the Philippine team is stacked as hell, and especially now that you have Kelra and Sanford on that SIBOL team, I'm really interested to see if how that's going to work. Like, are they just going to run with the Team Falcons lineup that won gold in Yasha Romania, or are they also going to go ahead and bring in, Kelra and Sanford even, and what else they have planned basically for the SIBOL team. So I think it's just guaranteed gold though, guys. Like, honestly, when I look at the SIBOL lineup and we had the announcement and everything else for them, I think it's just guaranteed gold. And even Kelro mentioned he's looking forward to getting a gold medal, because he's they're basically with Team Falcons and Team Liquid in a way, and they're looking to go ahead and face off against other international teams. And this is one of his things, because if you think what Kelra has done just in the past year, dude, the guy has done so much. He's achieved so much, multiple MVPs, world championship MVP, finals MVP. So he's got so much. And then if he's able to add a gold medal for ISF to that list, that's insane, for such a talented player. And hopefully he's able to get it alongside with the other teams. Now, lastly, the last little thing here to go ahead and talk about, we had the new reveal, guys. This was the new reveal. It's called the Immortal Cup. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but this is the new trophy, the Immortal Cup, that we get to go ahead and see for us. I think it's pretty cool though. This looks pretty cool. It looks familiar, but it looks cool. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you consider what our old trophies used to look like this is definitely a huge upgrade. And I like how they mentioned it, because it's going to all 7 MPLs, by the way. This isn't just the Philippines. It's going to all 7 MPLs. It's going to Cambodia, Indonesia, Latam, Malaysia, MENA, the Philippines, and Singapore. So we've got the new trophy launch has the new MLBB logo. And wait, hold on. The new trophy follows the launch. Oh yeah, the new logo. Yeah, it's got the new logo. Or the launch of the new logo at M6. I don't know how to read. And I thought it was pretty cool, because this is a good depiction of where MPL really is, and that's what Max, shout out to Max, he's a director basically of the creative development for global esports for Moonton Games, and he pretty much mentions we've achieved so much, MPL, MLBB has achieved so much in the last how many years, multiple years, and it's pretty crazy, because it was the first esport event in the world to surpass 1 billion hours of watch time. And that was the MPL Indonesia. MPL Indonesia recently became the most watched mobile esport event after the 14th season. So that was last season, with 117 million hours of watch time. That's crazy numbers, dude. Even that, the 1 billion hours of watch time, that's just, and people can say what they want to say, but hey, MPL is massive. And I people for a while were like, numbers going down, dead game, all this stuff. Hey, it's not, dude. It's not. It's good. It's healthy for the esport, and the competition continues to get better. Yes, there's some questions about what's going on in some of the other leagues around the world. NACT. I'm also wondering what's going on there, but probably part of that is due to all the legal stuff going around right now. But at least they're still in NACT, and I wish them luck. I think it's rather short though. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Again, guys, let me go ahead and bring me back over. So that is the recap for week 8. We did it around the same time. I thought I would get through it faster, but essentially, again, there wasn't that much going in the week 8 that we could really recap, aside from, again, what would that last team be? Was Twisted Minds, because Omega didn't win, and then who got the top seeds for the playoffs. And that's the biggest thing. I think, again, that's the biggest advantage that Team Liquid Philippines have, and Aurora Gaming going into the playoffs. You guys can let me know. I would love to know who you guys think will be champion and who will be second place. Because remember, that's also what's technically important. The first place, champions, of course, but also who's going to get second place, because those will be the two teams that will be flying over to Riyadh later this year for MSC at EWC. So I'll do my prediction video, like I said, a little bit closer to the playoffs, and we'll talk about some of that stuff leading into it. But yeah, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on either the regular season, let me know what you guys think, or again, who your top two are going to be. If you want to type anything, just let me know who your top two teams for this playoffs is going to be, because honestly, the competition is pretty fierce. I think even you really even have to keep an eye on TNC and Twisted Minds, because they could be in a position where they just like surprise Onyx Philippines and Team Falcons in those best of 5 play-ins, and who knows what could happen. And that's what I love about our league, right? You never know. From the top seed team all the way down to number 6, you just honestly never know. So let me know what you guys think. That's going to be it for this video. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching these. I'm really trying to get some more content up here on YouTube. It's just I'm playing catch up still, guys. I'm playing catch up. I still got a bunch of voiceover clients to catch up with after being sick for 2 weeks, and of course we were just getting back to life. You know what I mean? You know how it is sometimes? I would love to play a video game for fun. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, that's gonna be it. And also, one random little note, I might be doing a stream over here on YouTube as well for some variety games that I'm gonna play. I'm just gonna try it out, see how it is, test it out. There's a new game that I want to play, and see how it goes. So if you guys check that out, make sure you hit the bells, hit the like on this video, leave a comment, and thank you guys again so much. We'll see you guys in the next video that will be covering playoffs and my thoughts on that. So we'll see you then. You guys take care. GG, WP, see you in the next one.